Hey, everybody. Casey here. Thank you for tuning in to the Chick Chat Collective. Today, I am going to talk a little bit about burnout, specifically for moms, even though I do believe that every person gets burnout. But the one that the type that I can really relate to and speak on is definitely a mother of multiple young children. And then I am running my business and hosting this podcast and planning my wedding. and I actually recently wrote a children's book and it is being illustrated at the moment. So also, kind of checking in with that and giving feedback on that. And expanding my Ladies Lifestyle Network business. So there's a lot that goes into that. It's a whole nother ball game, really, when it's one location and then two locations. And then when you just keep opening up more locations, which is so amazing and so cool and exciting, but definitely a lot more work, and it takes a lot more time and a lot more energy and a lot more effort. And so I really just wanted to get on here because I felt like it was the perfect week actually to talk about this because um, for those of you who do listen to my podcast, thank you so much. But also I did not release one last week. And the reason for that is because I sat down to record a solo episode and I was just so tired and just not feeling it. Like my energy wasn't there. I knew I wanted to talk on burnout because I was experiencing it so much. Especially like the last couple weeks. I would say it's been just the feeling of not having much energy left. I'm usually pretty good considering the amount of sleep that I get and the amount of stuff that I do during the day. My energy level is usually pretty good until we get to like 5 or 6 p.m. And then I'm really ready to like have dinner, wind down, have the kids wind down, do bath time, do story time, get in bed. But these last couple weeks, I think after doing so much work on Ladies Lifestyle Network and the expansion, and having a lot of balls in the air and a lot of new things coming about and interviewing a lot of new people, it really just left me tired. And then I went to my bachelorette party. So I did that July 14th. And so fun, as moms of small children know. So what ended up happening is I went to my bachelorette party in Charleston, and Tyler, his mom, came down a few days before and then took the big kids back up with her to her house. And then I was leaving Friday for Charleston, and Tyler was taking Jesse, the baby, Friday up to his mom's house. But of course, you all know what that entails, right? Packing all the kids, making sure they have all their stuff, and then packing a baby is like a whole nother thing. Um, and so it was awesome that he got to go and be with family, and everyone could help him with the babies while I was out at my bachelorette party. But also, it was like just making sure they had everything that they needed. And as moms, I really don't think that ever turns off. I think like you are like that for the rest of your life. I'm not really sure because my oldest is only 4 years old and my youngest is 9 months old. But I just want to get on here because I know there's so many of us that feel this, and we may not think it's okay to talk about it or bring it up, or we feel inferior, or we feel like we're not doing it right, or we look at all these Instagram moms who seem to be having it all together with, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids, and maybe they own a business too, or maybe they're doing other things too, and they just always seem to be like pumping out their content consistently, and everything just looks like it's, there's never any bumps in the road. And I'm just here to say that I don't think that that is realistic. Even if it seems like that on social media, I don't necessarily think that it's true. And I think that everyone experiences burnout. I really do. My girlfriend and I, Heather, I'm actually going to have her on the podcast, but we were talking on the way home from my bachelorette party because we rode together. And her sister-in-law actually reached out to me because she has a friend who is really, really into cyclical living, which is basically living based on your cycle. And we listened to a podcast, and it was really, it made a lot of sense. And my girlfriend, Melissa Afflerbach, I love her. She's amazing. She hosts yoga retreats. She has been talking about this cyclical living for as long as I can remember. And it's just now I think that I am a mom. And so it never turns off, right? Like the business you can turn off, the podcast you can turn off, the housework you can turn off. But when it comes to being a mom, there is no off switch on that. And so it's like your brain never really gets a break, right? Even when you're in Charleston at your bachelorette party, you're still worried about your kids. You still are hoping that they're okay. You're still wondering if they're sleeping through the night, or if they woke up with a bad dream, or if they're eating their food like they should be. It's all the things. And so I think we should just normalize it more, that women, we have these ups, right? Like when I'm so on, and I'm so pumped up, and I'm so, I will like come up, and it's weird. It's not like I'm trying. It's just the phase that I'm in. I seem to have a lot of energy sometimes, and a lot of ideas, and a lot of motivation to get those ideas going, and to get them down on paper, and to see what we can do next. And then there are some times, and like I said, it was like about 2 weeks. I feel like I'm coming off of it now, but where I am just like, holy moly, I've got no energy, and my motivation is like so low. Even though I'm like excited about stuff, I just feel like I am tapped out. But yet, you still got to get up every morning and feed those babies and keep those babies alive and do all of the things. So I was just thinking, I can't be the only woman/mom, especially working moms, who feel like this. And don't get me wrong, even if you are a stay-at-home mom and you don't have a typical 9 to 5 job, or you're not running a business, or you're not doing anything other than being a mom, I still think that that is like the hardest, the best, but the hardest and most demanding job that there is. And there's just no clocking out of it. And so I think it's totally appropriate to have this burnout. And then I was just thinking, are there women who feel like this, and then I used to not want to admit that I felt like this, because I thought that it was admitting that I couldn't handle it. Like I couldn't handle all the things that I was trying to do. And sometimes I felt like maybe people would even hint at that, like, you're trying to do too much, or maybe you shouldn't try to do so much. And it's like, well, that's the kind of person that I am. I like having a lot of things going on, especially a lot of things that I am excited about, right? I'm so excited to plan our wedding. Yes, it is like a job in itself, but it's also very fun and exciting. And I'm so excited to expand Ladies Lifestyle Network. And I'm so excited to do this podcast. This podcast is like pure joy for me. It really is. I have a lot of awesome interviews with amazing women coming up, and I'm so excited to share those with you guys. And just having really real, raw conversations is just, it like makes my heart fill up. And the perfect example, like when I was at my bachelorette party last weekend, there right next door, there was another bachelorette party. And my girlfriend and I were sitting out front having some wine, and they got home, and we didn't know these girls, but the bride was from Charlotte. She was cute as a button. And her friend was from Raleigh. A couple of her friends were from Raleigh. And we just sat out there. We had just met them. And we got into such a deep, real conversation with these girls, like about all the things, guys, about like how many times you have sex with your husband and red flags in marriages or engagements and all the crazy stuff that I went through in my divorce. I mean, just like so deep, so honest, so raw. And these were just women who had just met talking to other women. It was beautiful. Like I even told them, I was like, I wish I was recording this right now because this conversation is so honest. And I wonder how many women could relate to this right now because we don't even know each other. And we're talking about so many like hard things and taboo things and things that you're not supposed to talk about or let people know or let people in on. And I've kind of felt like that sometimes when I've had this burnout. That's the only way I can explain it because I don't think it's being tired, right? I'm used to being tired. I'm tired a lot because I have two kiddos that don't really sleep through the night. And Isla, for some reason, is going through some weird, like 4-year-old regression where she doesn't want to sleep in her room. She wants to sleep in here. And it's also brutal as a parent when you feel like your kid is actually scared to sleep by themselves in a room by themselves. Like you want them to come in your room. You don't want them to be scared. But then you're paying for it in the morning and all day because you did not get enough sleep. This is not what I'm talking about, though. I think that's kind of a normal thing. All parents, especially parents with young kiddos, are tired. It's a tiring job. I'm talking about, though, but we can usually push through that, right? Like, you know what? Get a cup of coffee, get some fresh air, try again the next night. I'm talking about the burnout and that's my thing, I feel like, is I get super, super focused, like hyper focused, super motivated, super productive. And you can only be like that for so long. And I think it's pretty natural and normal to have this burnout phase, especially as a woman. If you listen to the stuff about cyclical living, it talks about how we are on a monthly phase, right? We have our summer, winter, spring, and fall phases. And it's through the month, whereas men have all of those in one day. They wake up ready to go. And by the time it's nighttime, they're ready to go to sleep. So what they have in a day for their cycle wise, we have in a month. Now I want to actually bring on the girl who my best friend Heather, it's her sister-in-law's really good friend. I wish I could remember her name right now because she's awesome. But I am going to have her on the podcast to talk to you guys more about this cyclical living because she really is an expert. And the way she explained it was just like, wow, yeah, that makes total sense. And so I just want every woman listening to this to understand like those feelings where you're like, I don't even want to leave my house or get out of my pajamas, right? Like I want to be cozy. I want to drink like a nice cup of tea. I want to eat a nice bowl of soup. I want to nourish myself. I want to nourish my body. I want to give my mind a break. All of that is normal. It doesn't mean that you're lazy. It doesn't mean that you're unmotivated or you're not driven. It doesn't mean that you're, not as good as other people who seem like they're go, 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 go all the time. Personally, I don't want to be go, go, go all the time. The reason I'm working so hard right now is so that I don't have to be go, go, go all the time. But even now, I'm going to allow myself these breaks and these little, bursts of this time off to just give my mind and body a break. And because as we all know, if you've ever done that, if you've ever like gone to a wellness or a yoga or a personal development or any kind of retreat, even if it's just for 2 days, right? It could be a week or two, depending. when you are done with that, you come back so refreshed, so filled up, so ready to go. And at least for me, like with such an appreciation of my life and the fact that I got to do that. And then I get to come back and be with my beautiful kids and work on my amazing business that I love so much and do interviews with badass ladies for my podcast and work on my book about my kids and plan my wedding to my best friend and soulmate. It's like all of these things. I don't know, you just sort of get like a renewed gratitude for them, is how I would put it. So, like I said, I just wanted everyone to understand that I believe that we all have this, we all go through this. We're going to continue to go through it. And I think it's totally normal. And I think it's healthy. I think it is weird if you're like always constantly full of energy to the max and like always wanting to go 1,000% all the time. I don't think that's like a healthy way to be. And I know we see that a lot sometimes, like my fiance, Tyler, he freaking loves David Goggins. So if anyone knows who that is, that guy, man, I mean, he is very impressive, but I swear it's just go hard all day, every day. It's like there is no break. There is no chill mode on that dude. At least it doesn't seem like that, right? I hope he's not like that in real life because holy moly, you guys, like that would be so exhausting to be around 24/7. But I'm just like, I'm not buying it that it's like that all day. I'm just not every day. So I'm just here to tell you that you're not alone. It's totally normal. I mean, if it's like affecting your life in a major way, it could definitely be like a hormone imbalance. And I always suggest, getting like a panel done on that. I was always really low energy, like in my 20s, and I checked my hormones. My ex-father-in-law was a doctor, and all my symptoms, he was thinking that I had a thyroid issue, and I did. And so I'm actually on thyroid. I take it every day, and I have been for years. So there is always the possibility of that too. And I totally recommend getting that checked out if you're able to, because it could be just a simple fix of getting your hormones regulated and getting them back on track. And of course, the normal things like sleeping, although it's like easier said than done, right? I know that I need to sleep for 8 hours a day to feel my best, but I don't ever get to do that. Like I just don't. I have a baby who I'm still nursing. And like I said, I have other kids who are not sleeping through the night. So as much as I know that and would love to do that, it's just not an option right now. But obviously eating healthy, getting exercise, all of those things will help. But just know that it's all good if you're feeling like you're you're burnt out and you're feeling like you need a break, you need to recharge. Like do it. Do whatever you need. It's very important as women to listen to our bodies. They usually end up telling us what we need. So I hope that this was relatable. I hope it was helpful. And I'm very excited to start back with the interviews next time. And I appreciate everybody who is here listening to this. Of course, if you have a comment or a question, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love, love, love to hear you, and I will see you next time.